Hi, it's Joanna here. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about my Learning Through Film American Girl series of classes. I have 5 of these classes and they cover snapshots in American history, starting with the American Revolution and going through the African American Civil Rights Movement. So the first class in this series is the Felicity class. Felicity is a 10-year-old girl living in the Revolutionary War era. So this class talks about the events leading up to the war, and the movie ends as the war is starting. So in addition to uh, the Felicity story itself, Felicity is a compassionate girl, and when we see that with her actions in the movie. But in addition to that, we talk about the events that led up to the war. We talk about the difference between patriots and loyalists and some of the disagreements that Felicity's family members have based on these points of view. We also talk a little bit in the curriculum about slavery and indentured servitude, which are two things that we actually see in the film. The next film is going to be Samantha. Samantha is a girl living at the turn of the 20th century, the early 1900s, and this film is technically a holiday film. It's called An American Girl Holiday, but that's just part of it. This film really covers so much more than holiday. The film covers women's suffrage, child labor. It covers the theme of grief because Samantha has lost her parents and she's living with her grandparents. And this is a great film. This is a popular one. Kids seem to really like this one. The next film is Kit. Kit Kittredge is a 10-year-old girl. I think all of these girls are actually 10. She's a 10-year-old girl. She lives in Cincinnati, Ohio during the Great Depression. And she has to help her family out when they're struggling financially during this time. She also has a dream of being a reporter. And one of my favorite things about this class is that Kit is, she's a spunky girl, she's really spirited, and she doesn't give up on her dream even when her story that she writes and thinks is great is rejected by the newspaper. So she's able to take the constructive criticism of the newspaper editor to heart and use it to make herself better. So I like that about Kit. I think that she's a really good role model. And the kids do like this class a lot. They seem to like Kit. The next class is Molly. Molly is the 4th class, and this is a class covering World War II. Molly's dad is a doctor in the military, and he is called to England, so her family is left on the home front, and they end up taking in a girl who is escaping the bombings in England, that is from England. So those are the themes that are covered in this class. The next class, the last class, is Melody, 1963, Love Has to Win. Melody is a 10-year-old girl living through the African American Civil Rights Movement. Melody is African American, and the story is told from her perspective, and she has a lot of overlap with Ruby Bridges. So that's one of the things that we actually discuss in the curriculum there. I have the kids work through a Venn diagram to compare those two characters, or the character of Melody and the girl Ruby Bridges, and kind of to see the overlap and to see maybe where this Melody story might have come from. I have a suspicion that Melody might have been an inspiration for the story. So the story takes place the year that, or during the time when the Birmingham bombings happened, and it covers the fear that Melody felt from that situation and how she overcomes it. So it's a great film. All 5 of these are really great films, and I really enjoy teaching them. So the format of these classes is the same. All of these classes are an hour live meeting. When you register for a class, you're given access to a workbook, a curriculum packet that I've created, and the student needs to watch the film ahead of time, and then they need to work through that curriculum packet before our live class. Our class time is largely devoted to Socratic discussion. So I include some Socratic questions in all of the curriculum packets. So they need to complete those questions ahead of time so that they feel comfortable participating in the discussion and they kind of know what they already want to say. And if they have questions that they didn't understand, that's a great time for them to hear other people's opinions and to hear what I have to say, and we work through that together. So that's a great part of the class. Most of the information in the packets that I will provide for the kids is background information. So there will be some background information about the time period and history that we're talking about. There will be some extension activities, including that vocabulary activities in every packet, and some other fun stuff. But please have your student complete this ahead of time as much as possible, because it will help them get as much as they can out of the live meeting. If they can't complete it all ahead of time, that's fine. Just please focus on getting those discussion questions done, because that's what will allow them to participate in a sort of roundtable discussion with confidence. And I want them to have confidence. I want them to feel like they really have a lot to add. And I know that they do have a lot to add. My favorite thing about teaching these classes so far has been the amazing insight that these students have. Your kids have so much to say, and I really appreciate having the opportunity to sit with them and hear all of their great thoughts. So I hope that this has answered any questions that you have. If not, please feel free to contact me. I want you to be comfortable with your students being in my class and make sure that all of your questions are answered. So I hope to see your student in my classroom soon. Bye.